Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Felix of Virtual Witchcraft, coming to you once again live from the pitch here at League 7, ready to present to you yet another exciting series of seasonal matches for your viewing pleasure. Now, of course, there are plenty, and I do mean plenty of games coming up in this weekend series. However, we've got one very important game coming up right now in the next approximately 8 minutes of the Gaslight and Grindelows versus the Bludgers. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and welcome a fresh face to the box and fresh face to the entirety of League 7 over the past few weeks. You've gotten to know them as a player over on High Tide, but now please welcome and give your most gracious applause over to the new, you love him, you know him, Seawoods. Welcome on in, Seawoods. How are you feeling today?
It's a great day tonight. I mean, at least where I am in the country, it's a little rainy, but I'm super excited to be watching some great Quiddy. It's going to be a great day today.
Oh, that it is. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic series today. With this upcoming match, I must say, the Gaslight and Grindelows and the Bludgers, I know in effect you've actually been training with Just Ketchup from the Bludgers. Is that going to lean into your expectations here today moving into this match?
I mean, Ketchup's been doing a phenomenal job with coaching High Tide, but also just giving me a little more tips on Seeker. So I don't know if we're going to see Ketchup on Seeker today, but I'm anticipating seeing him on Bludger, and he has been, or seeing him on Beater, and he has been a nasty, nasty beater with training me. So I'm super excited to see how this is going to wrap out.
I'm excited to see it as well. And of course, with the Bludgers themselves, it's not just Ketchup who happens to be a formidable foe. In fact, let me go right on over here to see if we can showcase exactly what we're looking at from the Bludgers and their team. There we are. So as you all can see, with the Bludgers, they currently are enjoying a 2-match win series, yet to be defeated. Though, currently, within their match wins, they've only won 4 out of the 6 games themselves. Or, excuse me, 4-1 in the game series, bringing them to an 80% win percentage with a positive 330 point differential. And with the makeup of this team between High Phoenix and Jim Tones leading the charge, we've got an incredible lineup, primarily out of a chaser core, but also dynamic and versatile on the pitch. As you see, we've got Decas, Ketchup, Odarina, Prophecy, Scourge, Trobo, Oof, Pizza Spidey, and Tuonella. Whilst, meanwhile, over on the enemy side with the Gaslight and Grindelows, they're currently a bit of a mixed bag when it comes down to their wins and losses over the season, but are yet so tenacious, and their teamwork has been something to marvel the entirety of the time. Captain between Megwood and Extreme Butter, we do see that they make up an incredible chaser core as well. I do say this is going to be a chaser v chaser situation, as we've got Chemical, Cowboy Jackman, Captain Carnage, Dynamite Cope, Frank, Ishi, Time Twister, and Voibin with Vin. Now, I must ask Seawoods, with regards to both of these teams, who do you think, both based upon their makeup of the team and their current season record, is going to come out on top here today?
Now, I think that's a great question, Virtual, just because watching all of Grindelow's games over the past couple of weeks, they've been playing some phenomenal Quiddy. They've had really close games. It hasn't just been complete blowouts, but also Bludgers have only played 2 games so far this season, so I'm really excited to see how they do over a long-term stretch of not playing and then just hopping right back into it after a weekend of play.
That's a good point. That's a good point. As of yet, the Bludgers, with only 2 of their games played out, are set at 7th place. And we have seen that over the past few weeks, the 7th place position has kind of been a make or break for most teams. For those who tuned in last week with the majority of Dumbledore's Army's plays, they were sat in a lucky 7 position, and after 2 wins in their match series, managed to climb up the ranks over to 5th place. Are we going to see that happen here today with the Bludgers, especially now that they're going to be putting 3 matches under their current lineup for this weekend? I know for a fact that the Bludgers themselves have been an absolute menace on the pitch from what I have seen, and I think their track record may yet win out unless the Gaslight and Grindelows have properly tightened their plays up and have moved on to really develop in a more aggressive standpoint, focusing primarily on their more deceptive aspects. But with that in mind, I will say those Gaslight and Grindelows shouldn't be overlooked. I think that it would be a travesty to underestimate them. They have what it takes. They've shown they have what it takes. And I anticipate moving into this first match in the next couple of minutes that we will be seeing them really bring the firepower. Now, really quickly, Seawoods, with regards to League 7 and your current career thus far, how have you been feeling? Has the community been welcoming to you? Have they been behaving, teaching you where they can, but also uplifting your strengths where they found them?
I do want to say one thing just to the entire Quiddy community. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be welcomed in as warmly as y'all have been. It's been nothing but phenomenal teaching lessons, phenomenal moments of just building friends, building friendships. This has been a phenomenal community. So just from High Tide to all of League 7, all of the Quiddy community, I just want to personally thank y'all. It's been a phenomenal welcome, and we're so excited to at least put a little bit more on the table moving into Season 6.
And speaking of putting more on the table, are you excited for tomorrow's match on your side?
I mean, it's going to be a good game against Bludgers. We've seen a lot of, at least from High Tide and getting coached by Just Ketchup, we've seen a lot of what he has to bring to the table, and shameless plug to our beater, Phantom. He's gotten a lot of practice, and he is looking really, really strong for tomorrow's matchup. So I can't wait to see a little growth mindset happen from Game 1 all the way to I think this is Game 5.
I believe so, yes. At least based on the track record, everything seems to be within Game 5 for your team. And I've seen some incredible growth over the past 2 weeks alone with regards to your gameplay. So I'm anticipating that at least by the point that mutes start rolling around, you guys will be up and ready to really demonstrate just how far you've come.
I'm super duper excited, and this game between Grindelows and Bludgers is just getting me more excited. I'm sitting on the edge of my chair. I can't wait to get this ready to go.
Neither can I, and it does look like these players are readying themselves to load themselves right on into their first match. But before we begin on that, I'm going to go ahead and take a brief intermission just to make sure that I have all of the HUDs prepared and ready for this upcoming match. It's looking like the players are taking their time getting their loadout set and settled, so don't go away, dear audience. We will be right back momentarily. Hello everyone and welcome back. We are just about to move right on in to the first match of the Gaslight and Grindelows versus the Bludgers. Be sure to have your bets ready, sit yourself firmly in your spot, and let's play Quidditch! Now, over on the way of the Bludgers, we have the perspective of Scourge, currently sat on keeper and providing the great defensive line that they always have. First blood going over to Gym Tones as they put in the quaffle for 10 points at 6 minutes and 38 seconds on the board.
Phenomenal pressure that Bludgers are already applying on Grindelows. I'm very curious to see how they can bounce back from this.
As am I, especially as right now the Bludgers lead both on the quaffle game and over on Snitch, with Shade currently taking a marginal lead by approximately 5 to 10%. But it looks as if the Grindelows are currently operating on their strength in the defensive line as Extreme Butter streaks down the field, looking for a means to try and break this quaffle game away from the opponents. But Ishi, clever keeping, picks it up, sends it over to Extreme Butter.
Great snag by Prophecy.
Beautiful snag there, and puts in the next 10 points, bringing the score 20-0 at 5 minutes 45 seconds. Now, Seawoods, that Snitch race is looking lead strong over with Shade for the Bludgers. What are the Grindelows going to need to do right here in order to try and keep them from capturing this Snitch, as they are trailing by about 20%?
Oh, it looks like Frank is one shot, so Frank's going to need to stay alive here in order to make some progress on that Snitch meter.
That's exactly
right.
right.
Oh, and no, Frank goes down. This is horrible for the Grindelows.
Oh, hate to see it, but it is expected with such intense pressure coming from the Bludgers, being so aptly named, putting in the work with another 10 points on the board. Looks as if they are being kept just off of this Snitch though, as they are at a 5% away from capture here. But Shade, brilliant capture, 20 additional points, bringing the score 50-0, and we aren't even halfway into the match. Grindelows are going to need to find their momentum if they want to get off their back foot and put some points on the board.
As Gym Tones throws in another quaffle for another 10 points, making the score 60-0 at this point. 4:30 left on the clock.
Oh, it's looking like a rough match here for the Grindelows in this first match of the weekend. But Grindelows, with their tenacity, currently in possession of the quaffle, vibing with Vin, tries to put it on past, but Scourge, with a beautiful pluck, takes the quaffle out of the air and sends it right back into the hands of Gym Tones, who's streaking down from the left hand side in an effort to try and squeeze on past, and does, with a beautiful shot there, bringing the score 70-0. What an intense first match we are in for. Looks like the Bludgers are trying to take all blood away from the Grindelows, giving them no quarter in an effort to try and really seal this match before time is out. What do you think,
That
Seawoods?
was some incredible chaser play by, or at least what was attempted by Grindelows, and then what Bludgers just took over. It looked like Butter was trying to essentially bounce the quaffle off the ground, and Bludgers just took right over and scored right on actually scored on Ishi. So that was a crazy play that I just watched.
It's a brilliant play there. You do love to see some intense chaser work, especially when it comes down to trying to put those trick shots on the board. But sometimes you need to go for the classics. Stay safe, know what works. Scourge, meanwhile, with another beautiful save there, and I do believe got a kick over on Frank. However, has knocked themselves down in the process as Gym Tones puts in another 10 points. We are 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from the end of the match, and the Bludgers just need one more goal in order to shut this game down. But the Grindelows may yet be able to turn around with a beautiful shot there from Extreme Butter, putting the first 10 points on the board and leading on that Snitch race. The Grindelows are going to need to capture the snitch to put a few more points on the board. But if I know the Bludgers, they're going to try and shut that down before it even happens.
All I know is it's getting really close. Franck looks like he's still in the lead by maybe 2 to 5%.
Scourge looks for that opening there to try and get the kick on. Hits Franck with that
snag
hero.
by Butter.
Oh,
beautiful goal.
Beautiful shot there, bringing the score 90-20, and Franck captures the snitch. The Grindelows have found their momentum again. We are at 90-40 at 1 minute and 48 seconds left on the clock. Are we going to see a turnaround here?
I don't know if we're going to see a turnaround, but this is building some huge momentum going into game 2, guaranteed for Grindelows.
Absolutely it is. Grindelows definitely having just been needing to knock off some of the rust from the previous matches, having settled in for maybe a rest and relaxation period. But now, all the gloves are off with a beautiful save. Oh, brilliant. You love to see it. Some incredible keeper work between the both of Scourge and Ishii here today. Scourge currently looking to save here.
Vin is moving down. Oh, and Bludgers take possession back with a minute left to go.
1 minute left in this, and currently the snitch is at 50-50. Looks like this lead here. Jim puts it home, bringing the score 100-40 there at the end there. What an incredible game between the two of them. Looks like the Grindelows were coming back in the end there, Seawoods, but the Bludgers decided not to give them that opportunity to turn the game around. What do you think? Moving into this next match, are the Grindelows going to really be bringing home more energy?
I think what Grindelows need to do for game 2 is find that momentum that they found in the last little bit of the game, put that right off of kickoff, and they'll actively have a phenomenally competitive game up against Bludgers.
I have to agree. And what an intense first match from the Bludgers in general. I was absolutely astounded there from just the pure animosity coming out of the gate, but apps coming from the team known as the Bludgers. So I don't know what else one could expect from this team. But certainly, still an absolutely astounding game there. Looks like both teams are taking a moment to refresh their clients or load their new players on in, as I do think they're anticipating a bit of a swap up here.
Yeah, it looks like Bludgers are making some sort of rotation adjustment. I'm not sure if Grindelows are going to be making some sort of adjustment after game 1, or if they're going to keep the same comp going into game 2 here.
Hopefully moving into this game 2, we're going to see a turnaround from the Bludgers. As it stands, it has been absolutely intense game so far, and I can only imagine what is going through the minds of the Grindelows as we're moving towards this second match. Just incredible to see.
It looks like we are loading, or at least we are finding our game. So it looks like our players are loading up momentarily, Virtual.
Oh, it's bound to be an exciting next match. Currently, we are just waiting for the teams to get themselves loaded on up. I do think there's going to be a bit of a perception, or a perceptive, a bit of a perspective change, at least by one of the other teams. So we're going to see just who we're looking at moving into this next round. But all of that said, I'm excited, Seawoods. I'm also very excited to see just how impeccably you were able to commentate in that last match. For a first time in the booth, you're not too shabby, I must say.
Well, thank you, Virtual. Very much appreciated. For my real life job, I would like to say that I am a professor, or I'm a teacher, but I'm actually a professor. So it makes a little bit of fun when I get to publicly speak and then actually talk about something I really enjoy, like Quidditch.
Absolutely brilliant. And being a professor on your side, I must say, the roles have somewhat swapped, at least by way of what you've been learning on the pitch under the Bludgers. What does it feel to go from professor to pupil, at least within this game?
It's such a humbling experience, but it's such a good experience at the same time, because being that as a professor you learn so much and then you have to teach others, you're on the reciprocating side of that. Now you're learning from somebody that's taken years of experience, or even like so much time out of their day just to be immersed in the gameplay and be immersed in what the community has to offer, and then they're just giving it back to a new person in the community. So it's a phenomenal feeling, Virtual.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Another question seems to be aimed your way from Phantom Blade over in chat. Seawoods, how does it feel to be up there in the booth instead of within the Seeker blender on the pitch?
Phantom, I will say it's a lot less windy up here. I'm definitely having it nice and easy compared to having my broom go very, very fast and I have to dodge every 2 seconds.
Oh, I know that feeling. In my experience on the pitch, I was primarily a Seeker myself, so I know just how intense it can be trying to maneuver throughout the entirety of the enemy team whilst trying to hone in on that snitch. I must say, it's safer up here on my side of things than I think over with Seawoods too. We're at least happy not to have a few bludgers aimed at our face as we're commentating, but who knows.
Oh, it's a great feeling not having to be aimed at with a bludger, but at the same point in time we get to watch it happen and we get to talk about it. It's a great day. I couldn't ask for any better day of Quidditch.
Oh, neither can I. Phantom Blade following up saying that was the fun part with regards to the bludgers, honing in on them. Don't worry, there are a few bludgers that come our way from a few fans that may not agree with our statements, so it's not entirely safe. But don't you worry, Seawoods, we've made sure to set up our imperturbable charms and our shield charms to prevent any would-be assailants from sending a wayward bludger our way.
And Virtual, it looks like we're getting a move along. It looks like we're getting a move along with our players, so we should be loading up here momentarily.
Oh, absolutely fantastic and good comms on that. As we wait for these players to move on into this next round, I do want chat to go ahead and make some prospective bets as to who they think is going to win in this next game. Between the Bludgers and the Gaslight and Grindylows, it's bound to be an interesting one, seeing as the Grindylows had found their footing in that last match, and were bringing a comeback before shut down by the Bludgers. Moving into this next match, I do anticipate that the Grindylows will be trying to carry on in that momentum. Hopefully, we'll be able to see quite a few more points being set on the board for them there. But it will determine exactly what we're looking at in this next match series. But just waiting right now for them to load on in. I do believe they're finding server. In the meantime, I want to go ahead and call out to Foolish Jester, new to the league and Discord. This is legit. So happy that this is a community is still alive, and we are happy to have you on in. And as I say that, we are moving right on in to this next match here between the Bludgers and the Gaslight and Grindylows in this second matchup, which may make or break the winning spirit for the Grindylows or secure this next win here for the Bludgers. And they are off. Currently, Gym Tones for the Bludgers in possession of the Quaffle, weaving about the enemy team and looking to pass one over to Prophecy. Prophecy sends it, but Extreme Butter plucks it out of the air with a beautiful interception. Loses possession, but Extreme Butter back in possession. Bit of a choppy stream from Extreme Butter, unfortunate to say, but we do see that they pass it on over to Vibin with Vin, who is looking for an opening on this goal here. Gym Tones, though, looking to put in some interference chasing, and looks as if the Bludgers have regained possession. I will
We'll
say.
say already, Virtual, it's looking like Grindelows are a little bit more aggressive, but a beautiful score from Prophecy there, making it 10-0 for Bludgers.
Incredible work there. We do see that, as you were saying, the Grindelows have gotten a lot more aggressive in this opening of the match. We did see in the previous one that the Grindelows had conceded a goal within the first, I want to say, 20 seconds of the match, but here it has taken nearly an entire minute before the Grindelows had conceded a goal there, and only after some incredible pressure over by way of Gym Tones, Prophecy and Oda, an incredible chaser trio that have put in so many points over this season.
And it looks like there was a beater bump or a bludger hit, so I'm curious to see how the snitch race is going. Looks like Bludgers are in the lead by about 10 to 15%.
That's about right from my side as well. It looks as if Sigma Frank is struggling to keep on up with Shade. Shade getting those clever bumps on in. Meanwhile, it looks as if Ketchup is injured at this time. Doesn't matter though, as Shade puts those 20 points on the board. As you were saying, Seawoods.
I was just saying, a beautiful catch just at the 5-minute mark by Shade.
An incredible capture there, indeed, to be beheld there by Shade, who is taking in another lead on this snitch. Early lead at 4 minutes and 40 seconds left on this clock, with Bludgers currently with a point difference of 30 points, with Grindelows not yet putting in a point on this board. The Grindelows may be taking a slower approach as they did in the previous match, maybe trying to keep from exhausting themselves out on this pitch, but I'm not sure if that is the tactic necessary here with this overwhelming chaser pressure.
By Gym Tones.
Brilliant. Passing it on over to Oda. Oda looking to get past Ishii. Does so. Beautiful. 10 points on the board there, with 40 to love against the Grindelows.
It's looking like a pretty close snitch race with about 3:45 left on the clock. I'm curious to see if we can get another snitch catch before maybe 2:30 or 2 minutes is up.
Oh, it is well possible. Currently, as long as they have kept themselves above the approximate 1 minute 50-second mark, they generally can try and get that third snitch in. And this game has yet to go so far as to call it early on, as in relation to the previous match, where we did see, I do want to say, approximately 60 to 70 point difference by this point in. But the Grindelows have been doing their best to keep the enemy team out of their goals. But will it be enough here, as Oda in possession, weaving around these goals, goes for a bounce shot it looks like, but unfortunately just not enough, as Vibin with Vin from the Grindelows picks it up. Snitch race is close there. Looks like the Grindelows are trailing by approximately 20%. Grindelows are going to need to get a few bumps here from Sigma Frank in order to try and keep Shade off of this snitch, but it's looking dangerously like the Gaslighting Grindelows might concede this second snitch here and an additional 20 points. For as strong as a chaser core as they've been keeping the enemy team out of their goals, it's looking like they're going to have to start reassessing and focusing over on Shade as they move closer here towards that capture. And Shade, another brilliant capture there, bringing the score 60 to 0 with only 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. What do you think, Seawoods? Do you think there's enough time for a turnaround from the Grindelows?
I think there might be enough time to make this go into overtime, but I'm going to need to see Grindelows be really aggressive, kind of what they started the game off with. I saw Vin and I think I saw Carnage a couple times get close to the hoops, but they just weren't able to deliver on the final shot.
And that delivery is really what's going to change the tide of this game here, as we're going to need to see them tighten up on their quaffle game just to squeeze past the impeccable keeper that we have over with
Speaking
Storage.
of quaffle game, Gym Tones with another beautiful goal, making the score 70 to 0 with about 125 left in the match.
Brilliantly done. The Bludgers are trying to keep the enemy team out of line. And with another beautiful shot from Jim Tones putting in an excessive amount of quaffle goals in this match series. It's looking like, unless the Grindelows can turn this around, they may concede a 100-0 game. Unfortunate to see on any team, but to concede it to the Bludgers is understandable with just how much of a powerhouse they have proven themselves to be in their yet undefeated series.
Also, last game, Virtual, I believe the game got stopped because of the 100-point differential. If Grindelows make it all the way to the end of the game, that's a huge thing. That means their defense was a lot better this match than it was last match.
And it looks like their offenses too, as Sigma Front got a brilliant bump over on Shade and is closing in on the snitch here, but Shade pulls it through with 100 points on the clock. What an incredible game there. Unfortunate to see, but at the same time, amazing and outstanding work there by way of the Bludgers, securing 100-0 there in that second match. What do you think, Seawoods? Looking at that match series, do you have any thoughts on how the game went, or how either team can approach this next game or these next games over the next few days to try and get farther along on the leaderboard?
Well, I've got two things to say, Virtual. First, it's phenomenal just looking at how close this game can be. Even though the scoreboard says it's 100-0, we're looking at some phenomenal aggressive play versus some snitch gameplay that we're trying to balance and weave in and out. So this is definitely great close Quidditch, even though the scoreboard might not say so. And at least for my second thing, for High Tide, we know at least what to prepare for with Bludgers a little bit more. And we know we're going to have some very aggressive gameplay coming tomorrow.
And aggressive gameplay is what I love to see, especially as we have quite a few more matches in the gun in this upcoming series. But for today, that's going to wrap up our Quidditch series for Saturday of Week 8, Blood and Bludgers, with Bludgers having shown a bloody impressive run so far with a 2-game win, match win, and bringing themselves a little farther along on the leaderboard with 3 matches under their belt and an undefeated series. Dear audience, and Seawoods, do you think that they're going to keep up with this kind of undefeated streak? Or do you think that we're going to see the next 2 matches for the Bludgers maybe cause a bit of an upset and keep them lower on the ladder?
I mean, if we're looking at their schedule, Virtual, tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time, we have Bludgers versus High Tide, which is going to be a phenomenally good game. High Tide's going to come out swinging as best as we can, but immediately after that, we have Bludgers versus Pumpkin Snatch, which is, I believe Pumpkin Snatch is one of the better teams in the league right now, ranked higher, I mean. So seeing a ranked 1 or 2 team go up against Bludgers is going to be a real competitive scene there on the pitch.
Oh yes, and not only are they ranked high, but they are currently number 1 in the league right now. So the Bludgers, there's a lot of pressure riding on these next few matches to really solidify themselves in the upper 6 echelon. Meanwhile, Gaslight and Grindelows after today may be taking the 7th place stretch moving into next week. But if I'm not mistaken, the Gaslight and Grindelows also have another game coming up tomorrow. Though I may be wrong there, actually. I do believe I am wrong there. I was anticipating a different game. But no, it looks like that's actually going to be the last within the Gaslight and Grindelows matches for this weekend. Unless we hear otherwise. An unfortunate way to end it on off, but...
Virtual, did I hear you say that the Gaslight and Grindelows are then going to be in 7th place?
I do believe so, at least after this match win from the current 7th place of the Bludgers over the 6th place Gaslight and Grindelows. Something tells me the Gaslight and Grindelows are going to be settling in 7th place.
Well, kind of what we said to start off the stream first off. The 7th place spot seems to be a lucky spot, so I'm curious to see what matches Gaslit and Grindelows have to schedule and how they're going to perform with that 7th place kind of lucky spot in the season.
I mean, that is a good point. We have seen that 7th place lucky 7 come into good effect for both Dumbledore's army and now for the Bludgers. So who knows? Maybe around the tail end of their current career in Season 5, we may yet see a turnaround for the Gaslight and Grindelows. But I anticipate that over the course of these next few weeks, we are going to see quite a bit of a competitive series to really solidify themselves on in as we enter into the final third of this season. It's going to be intense and brutal, simply moving on up into Newts, but then also Newts itself. Oh, and do forgive me, dear audience, currently taking a look at a few things on our side. Let's see here. Alright, everyone, I will say, after all of that, we are going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here today. But before that, I want to go ahead and give a shout out over to Seawoods once more. Thank you so much, Seawoods, for joining me in the box today. And if I'm not mistaken, you will be joining us again over for tomorrow's match, won't you?
I will at least be trying to join for at least one of those matches tomorrow virtual. I'm not sure if it's going to be immediately before our match with Bludgers or if it's going to be closer in the afternoon, but I definitely wanted to try at least one of those games again.
Sounds like a plan, sounds like a plan. I hope to have you in the box once more, Seawoods, but in the meantime, you take a well-deserved rest and prepare yourself for the upcoming game against your mentors. But otherwise, everyone... Oh, go right ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say much love, Virtual. We super duper appreciate it, and to everyone watching the stream, we cannot thank you cannot thank you enough for the support and the love for everything that y'all have done.
And we will continue to show you as much love and support as we possibly can, not just tomorrow, but over the entirety of the season. We know you guys are coming in with a learner's mindset, and we are happy to teach and welcome you in to our lovely little League 7. In the meantime, everyone, if you haven't already, be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe on all of our platforms. If for whatever reason you haven't joined us over on our League 7 Discord, be sure to do so by following the link that you can find over at our official League 7 website at league7.gg. From there, you can learn more about all of our names and faces that have helped bring the league to where it's at, as well as keep up to date with all of the different matches coming up in the gun. But with all of that, I do see we've got a new Quidditch Champions player that we will go ahead and raise. Their name is Half Cycle, so I'm going to go ahead, send them on over there. As in the meanwhile, that's going to call it for Quidditch here today at League 7. Thank you, everyone. My name is Felix of Virtual Witchcraft, signing off.